Hello everybody, this is Maya, and today marks my 3-year anniversary of eliminating all refined sugar from my diet. And to celebrate, I wanted to share with all of you the top 7 benefits that I've experienced since eliminating sugar from my diet, and also the top 7 challenges that I have faced. When I say that I've eliminated sugar, what I mean is that I've eliminated all white processed sugar, also all honey, all agave syrup, basically anything that just turns into pure sugar when you ingest it. So this has been for 3 years now, and it has been a really amazing journey for me. And I do have some other videos on this topic if you guys are interested, which I will link in the description below. I know that a lot of people are probably interested in weight loss, and for number 1, my first benefit is I have experienced about a 15% reduction in my overall body weight, and I thought I would give it to you all as a percentage rather than total pounds, because I'm pretty small. I'm about 5 foot tall, and so that way you could better project kind of what you might experience. And I'd say I lost about half of the weight straight away within the first sort of month or 2, but then as I continued to not eat sugar, especially during holiday times and things like that, I noticed that my weight continued to decline. And this leads me into the second benefit that I've experienced since eliminating sugar from my diet, and this is that I've had less fluctuations in my weight over time. Before, when I used to consume sugar, and you guys, I really loved sugar a lot. Like, I was always kind of looking for the candy jar and things like that, or always picking up a sweet treat when I went to the grocery store. And as a result of that, I experienced a lot of fluctuations in my weight, especially around holidays. So I would always feel healthy in my body during times of the year that were quiet, but then it always seemed like a holiday was rolling around, and with that there was always so much sugar. Christmas would come and there'd be the Christmas stockings and the desserts and everything, and my weight would go up 5 pounds or 10 pounds, and then there'd be just kind of enough time to balance back out with less sugar, and then Valentine's Day would come, and again my weight would go up so much, and then my weight would go down a little bit, but then Easter would come and there's the Easter baskets and the brunches and all of that stuff. And with all the sugar, because sugar is really just pure calories and it doesn't fill us up at all, if anything, I think it makes us crave more food. So I was constantly having fluctuations in my weight, and it felt a lot like kind of like yo-yo dieting in a way. Since eliminating sugar from my diet, my weight is a lot more consistent. Sure, if I go on a vacation or something like that and just eat a lot more calories, my weight might go up by like 1 pound or 2 pounds, but I'm not getting those big fluctuations in weight that I was before. My third benefit that I've noticed here in this 3-year period is that my hormones have improved tremendously. And so admittedly this is kind of a benefit mostly for women, but it's really worth noting. Prior to adapting the no added sugar sort of lifestyle, it was really difficult. I was experiencing a lot of hormonal suffering. Not only did I get diagnosed with endometriosis, but I also was getting huge ovarian cysts every single month, and I was in so much pain. And I remember reading and researching about what the cause was. I just kept on coming across information about the link between sugar and high estrogen levels and sugar and hormonal health. And eventually I decided I had to try eliminating sugar, and as soon as I did, my hormones got so much better. I had so many less symptoms of PMS, so many less hormonal headaches. I stopped getting the ovarian cysts. I can't say eliminating sugar is a complete cure-all, but it helped a great deal. It really helped a great deal. It also helped with hormonal acne as well. So yeah, it was really a benefit to my hormones. The fourth greatest benefit since eliminating sugar from my diet is that I feel just a lot more grounded. I'm sure you've all experienced that feeling of being around some sort of sugary treat, some sort of cake or cookies or candy or something like that, and just feeling out of control, you know, maybe ice cream or whatever it is for you. After all this time, I really do feel that sugar does operate like a drug in our body. It's like you have a little bit, and then you want a little bit more and a little bit more, and the next thing you know, you're having sugar at every single meal, or you're having to have it at every single meal. I wouldn't say that I felt out of control with sugar every single day of my life, but sometimes I did, especially when my hormones were out of balance or if I didn't get enough sleep. And that was honestly really scary because I'm a pretty responsible person. I own my own business and I was a good student, and like in all ways I felt like I had kind of a handle on my life. But then when it came to sugar, I sometimes felt out of control, and so it's a really good benefit now where I feel like since I'm eating kind of like whole natural foods, I don't have the desire to just keep eating them and eating them. I feel just a lot more balanced with my food consumption where I eat and I get full. My fifth benefit is that I experience more consistency in my personality. Before, I felt like I had kind of a wide variation. I mean, admittedly, I was very, very sensitive to sugar, so I would get like huge sugar highs and I would just become like so outgoing, and I would really like go crazy sometimes. It just tremendously changed my personality and made me so much more reckless. And that was all the way from the time that I was a tiny little girl all the way through my 20s. I feel happier because I don't have as many crashes and ups and downs. It's been very, very beneficial, and a lot of people have noted it too. Like, oh, you're so much more calm now, you're more content and more peaceful and all of these things. So I do attribute a lot of this to eliminating sugar from my diet. The sixth greatest benefit, and this is actually a huge one, is that now I have so much better nutrition. Before I eliminated sugar from my diet, I was getting a lot of calories from sugar, and sugar has no nutritional value whatsoever. It has no vitamins, it has no minerals, and I was deficient in a lot of vitamins and minerals. I was deficient in magnesium, I was deficient in zinc, I was deficient in vitamin D. I wasn't getting enough of what I needed. And since I replaced all that sugar, I replaced it actually with a lot of fruit, healthy fats, vegetables, things like that. And so now on a day-to-day basis, I'm getting all of the nutrients that I need. I feel a lot healthier, and it's been really cool to, you know, see my blood test results and see my nutritional deficiencies starting to heal and to see myself starting to come back in balance. And speaking of that, that brings me to my seventh benefit. I've learned to like healthy foods. When you're eating sugar all the time, it's such a excitatory neural response. It's kind of an addictive response where it just really infiltrates our taste buds and we just want that sugar all the time. But within 48 hours of eliminating sugar, I started to be able to taste other foods better. I started to be able to taste the more subtle flavors that are in fruits and that are in vegetables. And around that same time, I also started tongue scraping, which I think that might have contributed as well. Now I crave greens. Like now I crave spinach, I crave broccoli, I crave nuts, and I learned to love so many different tropical fruits and things like that that I was never getting before, because I was always, when I wanted something sweet, I was always reaching for sugar instead of reaching for fruit. And so yes, like the no added sugar lifestyle has made me the healthy person that I've always wanted to be. But of course, there have been some challenges as well. The first challenge that I've faced is, I think, the limitation on shopping in the grocery store. Before, I used to be able to shop in all the aisles pretty much in the grocery store, and now when I go shopping, it's pretty much just on the perimeters. You know, I would say that I really only am able to find things that I can eat in the natural sort of produce section, and then along the edges, like the freezer sections and the refrigerated sections, and there's very, very little that I can purchase in the aisles. Maybe some beans or plain rice or a few things, but almost everything else has sugar. I've experienced challenges with ingredient changes as well. So for example, one product that I've been able to find that I really enjoy that's typically sugar-free is salsa. Usually most salsas, they have kind of a sweet taste, really nice taste, and they go really well in a lot of different dishes. And so that's always something that I really enjoy. And I've had a couple of times where organic salsa companies that I really trusted and that I was buying consistently all of a sudden added sugar to their products. And after having eliminated sugar from my diet, I actually get reactions when I consume sugar. And so I would get headaches and hormonal breakouts, and I would think that I was eating a safe product, but it wouldn't be safe. And so shopping is a little bit more difficult. You definitely have to look at all of the labels, and you're not just looking for the word sugar. You know, you're looking for the word sugar, you're looking for the word brown rice concentrate, you're looking for the word fruit concentrate, you're looking for the words glucose. There's so many different names for sugar. I'll maybe insert a graphic that shows all the different names for sugar. Buying anything pre-prepared or processed can be really, really difficult if you're not consuming any added sugar. Even with no added sugar products, you sometimes have to really look and see what's in them, because sometimes the labels are sort of lying or they're kind of tricking you. The second challenge that I faced is that people don't always understand what it means to not be consuming added sugar. Sometimes I tell people, oh no, I don't eat added sugar, but then they'll give me like candied almonds or something like that. I've gotten a lot of people giving me things like that, and it's kind of like, I'm grateful, but at the same time, I can't eat that because those things have a lot of sugar on them. I've had people give me honey stingers before. If you guys know, those are like kind of an energy treat. I mean, that's pure sugar, but people think it's honey, so it's not sugar, or it's based in maple syrup, so it's not sugar. For me, I'm trying to avoid all of those things because they have the same effect on my body. Or people will be like, oh, I made these cookies for you with brown sugar instead of sugar, so you're gonna be fine, right? And I feel really bad. Most people don't really understand the concept, and sometimes even friends, family, loved ones really pressure me to eat sugar. They don't understand that once you've eliminated sugar from your diet, that adding it back in has adverse effects. And so people will sometimes try to pressure me, oh, just this once, have this pie, or oh, just this once, have this cake. And they don't realize that then after I consume it for weeks afterwards, I'm having horrible symptoms. That's kind of my third challenge that I've faced, is that there are such serious symptoms if I accidentally consume sugar. For me, the symptoms that I usually get is I will become itchy, especially my face, around my jawline will become itchy if I accidentally consume sugar. Sometimes I get like actual rashes, like here on my arm, or sometimes here on my arm, and my lymph nodes will swell all throughout my body. My lymph nodes will swell in my neck, in my groin, all over, and they ache horribly for usually 2, 3, sometimes 4 days afterwards. And then the other really bad symptom of accidental sugar consumption is that you start to crave sugar again. It sometimes happens because they change the labels, or it sometimes happens because maybe I go to a restaurant or something and maybe I order something that definitely should not have sugar in it, like a burrito or something like that, and you think, oh, there's definitely not sugar in this. I eat it and actually there is sugar added. And sometimes at restaurants I'll ask people, does this recipe have any sugar? And they're like, oh no, of course not. But then I'll consume it and my body is definitely responding to the sugar, or you'll notice that there is sugar in a sauce, a brown sauce or something like that. The fourth challenge that I faced since adopting the no added sugar diet is, at first I thought it would be really easy because I could just replace sugar with fake sugars like xylitol or sorbitol, or whatever, just any of these different sugar replacements. And then over time I learned that there are a lot of negative side effects to a lot of sugar replacements, and so it's not actually that easy. The one that I have found that doesn't seem to cause any reactions for me is stevia. Get a stevia that's just an extract of stevia without anything else added. I hope to see in the next few years that maybe companies will start using better options. Maybe companies will start using more stevia, or more products like that will become available. I'd love to be able to stop at a gas station or at a restaurant and get Zevia, for example. I would love it if that were an option. The fifth challenge that I faced is that sometimes I do feel, admittedly, like a little bit of a sadness at Christmas or my birthday or Thanksgiving or things like that, because for so much of my life, so much of the celebration was the sugar. When you get together with family for Christmas, at least in my family, like a big part of the celebration is we all decorate cookies with all the icing and all the designs, or making cakes for your birthday or pies at Thanksgiving. And I can still participate in the baking and stuff like that, but I'm not able to eat it. I think the first year that was really hard for me. Usually when I have time, I'll make my own sort of no added sugar alternatives, and you guys, there are amazing options. Like, there are so many options for baked goods and things like that. But I would say, like, when I don't have time to make substitutes, it can be kind of sad because I'm not able to join in with what everybody else is having. The sixth challenge is that sometimes there are actually no options, especially when traveling. I might go to a restaurant or go to a gas station and there's actually not anything that doesn't have sugar. I have been vegan and things like that, and so my options were even more limited. But it's surprising. Sometimes you'll look at things that you would assume definitely don't have any sugar, like trail mixes or nut mixes or things that shouldn't have any sugar. And I can look in products like that and then I'll see that they all have sugar. And I've run into a couple situations even at places like Panera or things like that where you might think, oh, there's definitely options here, where there's actually nothing that I could order. In some cases, you do have to plan ahead a little bit more. It's a really good idea to keep some snacks in your car or in your bag that don't have added sugar, like fresh fruit or nuts or Lara bars or whatever it is that you like. The seventh challenge and final challenge that I faced is that the no added sugar lifestyle is a little bit more expensive. Not exorbitantly more expensive, but it is really a lot more challenging, especially if you want to buy processed foods, because you really have to usually opt for the organic, natural brand of everything. So let's say you want to buy crackers or something like that. You might be spending $4 a box as opposed to 50 cents or $1 a box that you might have been able to spend before when you weren't avoiding sugar. So you could definitely eat a no added sugar diet for the same or less than the cost of a sugary diet, especially if you're buying whole foods, bulk foods. But if you're relying on processed foods, then you may be spending a lot more. And unfortunately as well, in the United States, sugar seems to be subsidized, and all these products with sugar are subsidized and are very cheap. You know, it's just shocking that you can buy a box of Pop-Tarts or something like that for $1, when really that should probably cost $8, $9, $10 considering all that's in it. But you may have to spend, you know, $1.50 just to get a fresh apple. Especially at first I noticed, okay, yeah, my weekly grocery bill, it might have went up by 10% or so when I eliminated sugar. Overall, though, despite the challenges, this is one of the best things that I have ever done for my health, and I really don't see myself ever going back. I love my food so much more, and I appreciate it so much more, and I just feel so much more balanced. No matter what diet I'm eating, it will not include sugar. And if you're somebody who's thinking about eliminating sugar from your diet, please try it. Please give it a try. I think that you'll find that it is one of the best decisions that you've ever made for your health. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video on my 3-year no added sugar anniversary. And if you like this kind of content, please feel free to come back any Tuesday or Friday for more videos here on the Maya's Dream channel. So thank you again, and namaste. Bye.